Hello, active traders, and welcome to Breakout Mastery 2017. This is Ken Calhoun, your host, president of the original Day Trading University and Trade Mastery. It's really exciting to see so many of you here tonight. I wanted to extend a thank you and a welcome. I know it's a Wednesday night, so I like to keep these short and focused. Let me ask a quick question. How many of you like the idea of having these quick 30-minute preview webinars as opposed to dragging it on for an hour? I like to do 30 minutes for preview so we can hit the ground running. No BS, no fluff, no trimmings, just the meat only, and get right into hit the ground running and get you guys some strategies for tonight. I always like to do 30-minute preview webinars because we don't need to drag it out. If you've ever been to other people's really horribly boring PowerPoint pitch fests that are hour long or something, I don't know about y'all, but I got a life, and so I like to focus on following the money and where the best of the plays are. So congratulations, and it looks like where the votes are unanimous, people like the half-hour format. So great, let's get underway. Hey, Barry, Mukesh, and everyone. As always, all information is for educational use only. No advice about what to buy, sell, or hold is being provided, and by watching this, you agree not to make actual trades. If you have questions about the Breakout Mastery Premium Program or Breakout questions in general, feel free to ask me. I'm Ken Calhoun. You may have seen my publications in Stocks and Commodities Magazine, Active Trader Magazine, at the Money Show Expos and the rest of it. It's always great speaking live at Caesar's Palace or wherever we are in Vegas or New York or Dallas or wherever in the world. Great to have cheering crowds of people come out to see me as I teach how to trade the markets. You're to be commended for taking time out of your schedule for being here. Always great to see a big epic turnout for these events. I want to bring back my live Las Vegas seminars, but it doesn't look like a lot of people want to travel much anymore. I don't blame y'all. The airport security can be kind of a hassle, but it's worth it. It's fun to come out and meet with your fellow traders and myself and shake our hands and join the party. Anyway, always people like to have fun at my Trade Master events in Las Vegas. Anyway, I've been around all over the place. We want to look not at what we covered last week. I want to just hit the ground running and give you guys actionable intel you can use immediately. How many of you are familiar, show of hands, with Wilder's Average Directional Index, ADX? Show of hands, or type the letter Y in the chat box. I published a course years ago called adxmastery.com, and it's one of my favorite. It's actually the only oscillation indicator I use. I intentionally decolor the DI, the directional index lines. All I care about is the red ADX signal line. I'm going to teach you how to use it tonight. So is that good? I want to give you actionable information on a core trading strategy that illustrates the quality and the type of approach that I take when I've taught so many thousands of traders in my breakout training. So Breakout Mastery is now enrolling for those of you who are not yet members. It is a 1-year, last Wednesday of each month, for a year webinar series of advanced training. And these are strategies and techniques I don't cover anywhere else. So let's get on with it. The first thing you got to do as a breakout trader is figure out where the range is. Does it have at least a 10% range in price action? Is there money to be made, in other words? If it's a flat, choppy chart or an index like the S&P, right, good luck to all the E-mini day traders. You're just getting chopped out, eh? Chop, 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 chop. Reason number 615 to not day trade E-minis. It's better to swing trade instruments that actually, I don't know, have a shot of running like this, right? So in Breakout Master, we also cover intraday breakout strategies as well as swing trades. So for example, this was Alcoa today with a nod to the great movie Wayne's World. Shwang. It's a Shwang chart. Hey, it ran all the way from 33 to 34.8. But wait, there's more. There's a bullish cut pattern. It's on the hunt. It's on the prowl. So Alcoa Aluminum, AA the ticker, worth keeping on the radar. What I like best about this chart is, as always, little minor gap up to get the day started on the right foot. But the main thing is a high volume breakout above the previous day's high with a nice tall sequence of large green candles. So if you're a day trader, congratulations. If you're a swing trader, double congratulations, because it's ran quite a few points. This is a 15-day chart, and you can see how Alcoa has run all the way from 28 to 35, a 7-pointer on a $30 stock, so not too shabby. Do the math. If you just bought 100, 200 shares, how much money could you two have made potentially in this chart. This is one of my favorite patterns. It's a wide range candle at the right side of a congestion box or a bullish cut pattern. I've been teaching traders that for years. We're going to look at that and other strategies like, today we had a nice big honking green candle at the right side of the chart here. So that bodes well for potential breakout coming up. But what I want to start off with is the pain point. And the pain point of most traders is false breakouts. There's a couple of them here. Let's take a look at interactive gaming for one. Some traders, let's say you'd been following it and it's going up and you feel, okay, yay, I'll put on the trade. I'll buy up here at 27 and change. And then, holy crap, Batman, I got stopped out. I hate when that happens. Zoom, boom, epic fail. On the count of three, wherever you are in the world, all the hundreds of you say epic fail, or mutter it under your breath if you don't want your family to look at you funny. But anyway, hundreds of traders registered. Great to see everybody here. Anyway, that's kind of common for traders. And instead of just dealing with it, we use small stops, but preventing it in the first place would have been kind of a good idea. So, or First Solar, another big epic fail. All the momentum traders got burned in this. Oh, let's buy the new high. Oops, holy crap, it's got stopped out. And it takes out a stop. How would you have avoided that? Well, the answer key comes in the handy dandy average directional index indicator. What I like to look at, this is a writer downer, you do need to write this down. Wait until the day after ADX breaks over 40. And for those of you who've learned with me in my prior training, we're going to look at some advanced nuances of how to do that tonight. But ADX never broke over 40, so one should not have taken this trade. Congratulations, I just taught you how to avoid one of the more common false breakout scenarios. See, unsuspecting traders would say, hey, it's going up, let's buy it. I'm a breakout trader. Epic fail, not. Boom. But did you, and that's because you didn't check your ADX. Now, there is no magic green arrow, red arrow indicator. This is not for mindless automaton robot traders. This is breakout masteries for professionals. This is an advanced, specific professional level training. I'm one of the world's foremost authorities, if not the foremost authority on breakout trades. And one of the things that I like to teach traders, so many thousands around the world over the years, is how to avoid false breakouts while getting in on good ones like this one. So MXL, the ticker, does everybody see the day in which ADX broke over 40? Where is that? Right here on this day. So that's this day right here. That's what I call the signal day. Actually, the last candle of that day is right up here. So anyway, that's the signal day. That's a good high velocity day. The ADX broke over 40. So now it's on my radar for a potential long. And in Breakout Mastery, I'll teach you how to extrapolate that. Many other techniques. This is just one that I cover for you. In the full Breakout Mastery training of courses that you're about to register for tonight or tomorrow. You got a few days. How many days do you guys have to get in on this? Till next Tuesday, because our main first event is coming your way live on January 25th, straight from your computer from 8 to 9. And we'll look at volume, momentum, breakouts, and the rest of it. Anyway, we cover so many different advanced strategies. Here's one that I'm teaching you right now, one of many that you'll learn about called ADX Ascensions. And it's an advanced average directional index pattern-based swing trading technique. You can also use it for intraday trades with a couple of caveats, and I'll teach you how to do that once you join as a member. But anyway, the point is, this is a good example of a signal ADX over 40. You enter not on the day of, because odds are you wouldn't see it, right? You come home at night from work, or you stumble across the chart at some point in the future. It makes sense to trade on a day or two after that. Things like IGT, an unsuspecting trader would have seen the trend. I used to do this all the time. I've made every mistake known to man. I used to screw up big time. Now I do much less screwing up as a trader because I've learned the careful way, kind of like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. Bum-ba-dum-bum, bum-ba-dum. How to avoid the pitfalls and the big rolling ball and the darts going across and all that kind of foolishness, to avoid a bad trade. If the ADX is breaking down under 40, that tells you trouble's on the horizon. I smell trouble, right? So ADX broke under 40 here while price was still going up. That is called a divergence, right? Which is a good movie too, by the way. But anyway, an Insurgent, there's a movie series. I digress. Anyway, ADX starting, my favorite recent movie is Magnificent Seven. Great Western. I love Westerns. I'm a huge Western fan, and Magnificent Seven was good. I want you guys to become magnificent breakout traders, the Magnificent 700. So let's get at it. Anyway, something's going up, and tra la 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 la. I'll go ahead and buy it. Ooh, holy crap! Well, I got to take a stop. Then I got to explain to my wife why I'm down $500. Well, instead of going down that path again, Sparky, what you want to do is learn how to use professional divergence techniques. So if you have an ADX that's faltering and dropping, that means volatility is going down, and price action is more likely to go sideways. Actually, it's not a directional, it's a volatility indicator. So ADX will go up if price is dropping sharply or spiking up sharply. ADX will go down if you got a horrible chart like our S&P. See how the ADX, the red ADX line, is down in the gutter? And this is your S&P, right? The Standard & Poor's Index. The S&P is going sideways, going nowhere fast. Last 3 weeks, the S&P's been doing jack squat. And the ADX told us it's doing jack squat. So as a breakout trader, I want you to trade markets first, whether that's isolating sectors, a hot sector that's on the prowl if you got a hot sector that's in motion, and I'll teach how to do that. That's a very advanced technique, so I don't have time to cover that tonight. But if the S&P is flat, that alone, using the ADX as a contrary indicator to tell you to stay clear of a choppy move is important. So anyway, what you do want to do, though, is get in on good breakouts. I pioneered a lot of the ADX momentum trading with my ADX Mastery course, which I'm no longer offering, many years ago, and it's been very popular. And other people have since got on the bandwagon, but anyway, my point is I want to teach you strategies you can start using. Here, for example, does everyone see how the ADX broke over 40 back here? That tells you, okay, it's on the radar for if it finally breaks out to new highs. But we stay clear until then. Okay, here, ADX broke the 40 on this volatile day. Maybe worth taking a shot up at new highs in this one, AAOI, the ticker. Okay. Now this one, EXAS, ADX is on the decline. So even if price goes up, I'm not going to buy this long because ADX is telling me not to. And that's the kind of thinking that you need to take as a professional trader if you're trying to extract money out of the markets, is to figure out the difference between breakout signals. Like ADX pierced the 40 back on this day in Symantec, right? Here's ADX. It came from below, broke over 40. So that's the signal day, is this entire day. The entry day, and I tell you exactly how to set your entries, but not only the first entry, but a position size or scaled in secondary entry or third entry. If you miss the first shot, where's a second entry or third entry? But after that ADX signal, this thing ran from 24 up to just under 27. So it's getting started. Clovis Oncology looks dangerous to me, though it's still a nice uptrending chart, and it ran all the way from 40 to 58, a nice 17-point run, which is great, and we often cover this one in my live trading room, but because the ADX is divergent and it's down under 40, that tells me to ignore. There's a lot of junk out there in the world that one needs to ignore, and one of the things that I encourage you to ignore is, say, if price pokes its head up above there, unless the ADX has recently pierced the 40, that tells me the internal volatility of this instrument is constrained and more likely to pivot back down and less likely to continue on up, right? Other charts that actually do run up, like this Alcoa, where it yielded a signal way back here or later, have much better trade potential, or Symantec, right? Those are the type of charts you want to make the core focal point of your energy as a trader. And that's just one of many techniques and strategies I'll teach you once you join the Breakout Mastery training I've lined up for you this year. It also kind of doubles as an alert service because, once a month, the last Wednesday of each month, we get together, a huge turnout, and we always have all of our members bring their favorite charts, and you can bring a chart of your choice. So if you have a chart that you'd like to have us all pull up, and I'll give you my professional, thought about that chart, but you can also get, insights from other traders, and I'll tell people what anyone posts in the room if anyone has questions. Okay. Does everyone see clearly? One takeaway from this is how to avoid a false breakout. This looks good, right? Up until, say up until the sell-off, right? That's kind of like the fatal flaw. Up until the sell-off, this looked like a nice rock star breakout. It might have got you to buy into it in First Solar. right? I know some people have been talking about that in the industry, but I said no because ADX is under 40, and it stayed under 40, and sure enough, it promptly sold off because ADX wasn't up, or that's one of the correlates or one of the ways that that data set's related. So making sure to identify how to avoid false breakouts while getting in on these that actually have good strong signal strength and momentum really makes a lot of sense. And for those of you who have a need for speed, who are also day traders like myself and swing traders, we focus also on charts that have good trade potential, right? And teach you how to avoid those that don't. You know, there's so many choppy charts out there, especially in day trading. You need to focus your energy on the sharpest breakouts. My favorite breakout pattern is always minor gap continuations following a bullish cup, right? You have a minor gap. You may have seen me publish on this in Technical Analysis of Stocks and Commodities magazine recently. I've been publishing breakout articles in that great magazine for the longest time. I'm a monthly columnist now, and you may have seen this chart pattern illustrated. Now, even if you're not a day trader, that should still make the cut. Rio Tinto's the ticker, or Rio's the ticker, Rio Tinto's the chart. This thing's gone from 38 to 43 and change. So a nice 5-point runner, and it's got good momentum and a nice big green candle. One of the other things that I like to focus on for all of our traders in Breakout Mastery training is things like our daily chart patterns and the difference between good strong momentum breakouts like this. You know, let's see, on a 90-day chart basis, it broke all 3 moving average lines and it ran all the way from 20 up to 35. 15 points of range. Just 100 shares, you would have made $1,500, right? Which isn't too bad. 1,000 shares would be 15 large. So that type of chart pattern is one to look for. One of the things that I go into detail in is daily candlestick charts, and we look for patterns like this one, where you've got a small followed by a large whole real body candle, especially if it comes from below and pierces, as this sequence did, Western technical, like all 3 50, 100, and 200 simple moving averages. And that crossover is a bullish crossover divergence, and that makes for a good momentum breakout continuation. And that's supported by the fact we've got all these large green candles, right? Those all illustrate the fact that we've got good buying momentum. And it did keep on going up at least a couple of points if we're going sideways. And now the sleeping giant has awoken yet again. We have a hammer here at a moving average, which is a classic reversal pattern. For more on candlesticks, be sure to learn from my colleague Steve Nissen, and only Steve Nissen at candlecharts.com. He's the world's best expert in candlestick trading. And one of the things you want to learn from is how to combine that with Western technicals. And one of the things that I like to teach is how to combine these daily candle patterns with whether it's a moving average support and or things like bullish cup pattern breakouts. A cup just looks like the letter U or A, you know, or minor gaps, also known as windows. A nice big momentum candle today, right? So these types of charts, it runs up sharply, goes into a sleeping pattern for a month or so, and then wakes up again this last couple of weeks, going from 28 to 35. So 7-point run in Alcoa lately. The precious metals like gold and steel and the rest of it have been relatively strong from a sector-based standpoint. That's another level of analysis we go through for you, is help you drill down into the strongest sectors. So semis have been strong. Biotech's kind of choppy. Insurance has been strong. Was strong, then it's dropped a bit. Banking has been relatively strong, at least until the last week or two. We're looking for divergence and breakouts in your sectors and drilling down professionally from not only what the S&P is telling you on a broad technical picture, but which of the sectors are strongest, and then how to isolate the strongest charts and scan for and set your entries and exits professionally. Not only the first chance, but a second chance breakout, because it's very frustrating. I don't know how many of you've done this. I still do this, and it's frustrating. If you get into a trade and you're directionally correct, meaning you think it's going to go up, and you buy it, but at the first sign of trouble, you go ahead and say, it may come back down, so I'll stop out. So maybe take a small profit or break-even trade, and then it makes the mother of all runs without you. And that can be really frustrating. I teach you how to look for the difference between those types of setups and how to identify those for yourselves as a Breakout Mastery member. So that's something else that I thought I would bring to the table. I really like to bring so many thousands of traders. I really focus on professional education by teaching you the difference between the strongest charts and everything else out there. I always do that with my industry partners too. with the various charting software companies and so forth, and my colleagues in the industry, when we do our joint webinars together, we always look for the strongest outlier charts and help you visually scan for, set entries and exits, manage your risk, and develop a trading process or a step-by-step plan that really makes sense. So that's what I like to focus on. And Breakout Mastery is my signature training for breakouts. I cover advanced strategies in that I cover nowhere else in the world. And if you've seen it or if you've been a member in the past, you know the quality of the training. So, and I'm not going to go through all the stuff that I went through last time, but I will tell you, we've got lots of techniques. This is the first 6 months. Okay, this is the agenda. And again, the last Wednesday in each month. If you can't make it, that's fine. I also record the webinars in high resolution 1920 by 1080 Blu-ray quality WMV video downloads, which is a nice, easy to watch video format, and you can copy the videos to your laptop or your cell phone or your Kindle, or your external hard drive or your internal hard drive or whatever. You can download and copy the videos as they get posted. I encourage people, though, as so many people turn out for my live Breakout Mastery members webinars, because you can bring your charts. You can ask me up to, say, 2 or 3 charts every single session and get my feedback, my candid, honest, accurate, assessment of the chart. Or if you have a trade that went sideways, it went against you. Let's say, hey, Ken, I got into that. I was one of those guys who bought the interactive gaming breakout. I got into it, but I got stopped out. What could I have done differently? And I'm happy to help give you some tips and some strategies for technical confirmations to use to help you potentially avoid false breakouts the next time you're up at bat and the next time you're trying to trade. So I'm proud of this. This is my ongoing live, this is the only live events that I'm doing on a regular basis other than swing scans and trading the open. This is my signature Breakout Mastery advanced training. And this is the first 6 months. Each month we have new things. I always have Q&A, open Q&A and quiz charts as part of every single session, because adults learn best by doing, right? I used to be a corporate trainer for Ford Motor Company, Rockwell International, and other big Fortune 500s, and interactive team facilitation, hands-on, roll up your sleeves, bring your questions, really, start turning the corner in your own understanding of how to trade breakouts professionally is one of the signature benefits to becoming a Breakout Mastery member. Let me know if any questions. We've got something coming up in just a minute, but first, let me give you the link. It's at breakoutmastery.com/profits/ because that's what I hope you'll learn how to make, right? This is the second 6 months from July through December. And again, I will not be repeating this preview webinar until this time next year for Breakout Mastery 2018. So this is the last preview event I will do of the year. I did one last week for y'all, and we had a really big turnout, like we have tonight. Really pleased to see so many new faces here tonight as well. We like to cover some very good, specific, accurate, advanced strategies that I do not cover in my industry articles, specific tips that I do not share in my Money Show live appearances or my other educational webinars or other articles or anything else I do out there in the trading industry with so many channel partners. And I wanted to take a minute to thank all of my colleagues who've worked with me over the years. It really means a lot to me. The opportunity to serve and to be of help to the world's active traders means so much. We're in business almost 20 years now, celebrating our 17th. Now this will be our 18th year. I started the business back in 1999, and I'm the sole founder, and I alone created my business, and I've been in business now nearly 20 years, helping thousands of the world's traders single-handedly figure this thing out. So if you're a do-it-yourselfer, this is a really good way to pick up intelligent breakout strategies. This is not, like, okay, I don't want to have to do any thinking. I just want a software indicator. Can I buy an indicator package that magically tells me where to trade? That doesn't work because it's a little more complicated. You need to take into account market internals, the S&P direction, the membership of the stock in a sector that's strong or not, the ARMS indices, the trend, whatever you're looking at, the VIX, you're looking at market internal indicators and taking a very intelligent approach strategically to set up trading entries and exits in the strongest charts that make sense. So I'm not going to read any of this stuff, as you guys can read it yourself, but the entire in bigger print even, you can see, the older I get, the more I like bigger print. You can see all the different things that you'll be learning about once you join Breakout Mastery 2017. So it's a bargain. You know, most people have downloadable courses that may be, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 hours for $500. This thing is only $497 for a dozen hours of live training with me. So it's like going to a live, day and a half or 2-day seminar for a fraction of the price. People happily paid $329 to see me live for a 3-hour session in New York for the Traders Expo. For the just slightly higher at $497, you can get in for the entire year and get 12 live webinars with me, plus bring your questions. And I'm very generous with my time. I stay around half an hour, 45 minutes, as long as it takes after the end of the 1-hour webinars to answer questions. So I've got a special, and it's good until January 24th, which is Tuesday. And the reason I have next Tuesday as the deadline is because we have so many new members each month. I need to enable your logins and passwords and get you registered with GoToWebinar. We do that for you automatically. So you automatically will get your GoToWebinar links every single month like clockwork. And so I need a day, our team needs a day to catch up and do that for you guys. So I do that for you. So I ask that you register by Tuesday because the first event is next Wednesday, a week from tonight. You also get a couple of bonuses. You get a $100 off bonus coupon good towards any of my downloadable other courses. And you can also get, as a second bonus, your choice of any of these downloadable courses with a retail of up to $197, or substitute a second $100 off bonus coupon, and you can use them anytime this year. So get a couple $100 of rebatable coupons as well. So you get almost half your money back right off the bat with coupons good towards other courses that you may want to acquire later this year. So anyway, that's last week's webinar. That's me telling you all about it. I hope that I've whetted your appetite and you're interested in joining me. You have my word, it's very great training. And for $497, that's, I'm one of the top industry experts in breakouts. And you get 12 hours spaced out, 1 hour a month, right? You get the last Wednesday of each night from this same time, but for a whole hour instead of 30 minutes like we're doing now. And we go through the charts. I've always got a focus list. Usually the list is quite a bit longer than this, but because the interest of time, I only have maybe a dozen or so charts for. Usually we've got 20, 25, 30 charts to look at least a couple dozen, and gives you a good insight in terms of the exact types of patterns to use and how to combine the best technical indicators to make good trade setups that work out, so have the potential to work out. Like here's a great chart, INFO. This illustrates my pattern called acceleration ramps, and that's where you've got, and again, you've probably seen me publish that for the last 20 or 15 years. I invented the concept. You've got a steady uptrend, and especially if you get a nice little gap here, and a hockey stick like breakout. That means you've got excited buyers in the house. It wouldn't surprise me to see higher volume, right? I have ADX on that chart. I got volume on this chart. So you can see a high volume breakout with an acceleration ramp. That's another of many patterns that you'll be learning the insights, the very specific how-tos explained, kind of deconstructed for you in our market. So looking for these types of patterns and how to trade them. I'll often say interactively, where would you set your first entry? Where would you put your initial stop loss? Where would you add to a winning trade? Let's say if it ends up breaking out over 40 later, say in a week or so, where would you build the trade or add your position size or scale or leverage in? Add to your winning trade so you can leverage up in the trade. Where would you manage risk? How would you make a good professional exit if things go sideways once you get into the trade? And how do you do that as inexpensively as possible? So anyway, these are the type of things, very intelligent, very smart, very rules-based, very easy to understand. And one of the big benefits I would say too is you get to look over my shoulder and look at some of the very strongest breakout charts each month and my specific strategies. And what you'll learn is how to do this on your own. You'll learn the pattern evaluation techniques to see whether a chart merits consideration in the first place. And if so, where to enter it, where to set your stop, where to exit the trade, how to walk through step by step. And that's something else that I'm pleased to be able to present to so many traders. So anyway, I hope that gets you interested in Breakout Mastery. You've got my word, it's very good professional training. It's my most advanced session for breakout trades. If I were to do this as a live seminar, it'd probably still be priced about the same. Probably do something like $600, $700, maybe $500 for early birds for a one-day seminar. Well, here you get 12 hours of training on a schedule that's much more convenient, and you can download the videos at your convenience once a month, as soon as we do each session. So, I hope that this will make sense for you. I've got the schedule here for you too. So it's basically the last Wednesday of every month at 8 o'clock Eastern. So that's easy to remember and put in your calendar. And you do get to download the videos in the members area, which is at breakoutinsiders.com. I showed you guys the members area last time. Here it is again. I logged in with my admin login. And if you ever have any questions on this or any of my sites, you can always click the Support Zendesk tab here and hit me up with the support ticket, and I'm happy to answer any questions. If you do join as a third unannounced bonus, you will also get the most recent webinars I did just a couple weeks ago for December, on December 28th. That was my final premium webinar of the year for all my Breakout Mastery 2016 members, and that's in the members area. And you'll also get as a bonus the November Second Chance breakout video, and these are hour-long each, so at least an hour long. So that's good professional bonus training you get. And so anyway, that's something else that you can get as a bonus for joining me in Breakout Mastery. So let me know if any questions, because I'd like to help out. Let's see. Oh, thanks. Joe's saying on last webinar, Clovis was an alert. Nice 6-point gain. Okay, thanks. A question from Helene. I use stock charts. Will I have to use another software? No. The great thing about my training is it's agnostic. You can use my patterns with any charting software that has things like volume and ADX. And so you should be able to use the Breakout Mastery training with any platform. I've done training on eSignal, which is what you're looking at now. I use eSignal's my personal professional weapon of choice, but I also work with NinjaTrader, Metastock, TradeStation. You may have seen my videos on YouTube with TradeStation, and others. So yes, and I'm a big fan of stock charts, and Chip, he's a great guy and great site too. But yeah, you can use the strategies and the training with any decent charting software, including free online charting software. I also like Big Charts. You might want to check that one out. That's one I learned on back in the 90s, and it's still alive and kicking. BigCharts.marketwatch.com, I think. But anyway, but yeah, stock charts or Big Charts, you can use that. I do recommend, though, that at some point it's a good idea to invest in a good professional charting software, right? That's one thing you don't want to be, penny wise and pound foolish in at some point, and not right off the bat, but, it took me, I think, I had been using Quote Tracker by the Medved brothers back in the late 90s, and then I switched over to eSignal and never looked back. It was either 2000 or 2001. But any charting software that plots data points like this, you may also notice that often most of my training is done on white background charts. One of the things that we cover exclusively, like, you got to love this chart, right? Alcoa, what a rock star chart. I just love this chart. I mean, if you had traded just a couple hundred shares, you would have made quite a bundle, right? This thing ran from 32 to 34, so a 2-point run. Trade a couple hundred shares, make $400, right? Or up to $400. Anyway, on a day trade, for swing traders, you could potentially do even better because it's ran 28 to 35, right? 7 points a run. But anyway, we use black background advanced candlestick charts for Breakout Mastery and exclusively here. I do not cover my advanced breakout training anywhere else. It's an exclusive. That's why you don't see me use black background charts anywhere in the world except in our Breakout Mastery sessions, because that's a good, a special benefit exclusively for Breakout Mastery members. So it gives you a really good way to isolate the patterns, and I found that it's a really good way to teach what you need to look for and how you can manage your entries and exits professionally. Here's another one, UCTT. Remember, another quick bonus tip is I always teach gaps usually continue most of the time. This one, no exceptions, skyrocketing from 9 to 12. So 3-point runner. If you do trade cheap charts, I will occasionally put these guys in here too, ones that are actually worth a shot, right? That actually have a sustainable trend. What I don't like is those cheap $3 pop and drop penny stocks that are like playing a video game and you get burned. What I like is things that actually have a sustainable trend, that actually have a shot of working out for you guys, right? Charts well-mannered and well-behaved like this. Kind of like interviewing an employee for a job and trying to ask about their work ethic and their productivity and their integrity and their honesty and their authenticity. The odds are they may not tell you everything that you need to know. In a chart, you want to look for a chart where, if you had hired the chart or put some money into the chart, pretty much anywhere, you'd come out ahead. And that's what I specialize in Breakout Mastery, is giving you these kind of charts that have the most sustainable uptrends and the most obvious, easy to understand patterns that I can explain, so you can start identifying these kind of charts on your own as well. Good question from Jim. How do I set profit targets for breakout patterns? Usually it's 50% of the 15-day range. That's a good question. Because you very seldom, at least I found in my own trading, maybe you've had better luck with it, but I know in my own trading, if I get in say a chart that has, what's one with a nice range? Let's say something like Citrip. Let's pick a nice wide-ranging breakout chart. This thing ran all the way from 40 up to 44, or actually I was thinking of Clovis. This thing ran all the way from 40 up to 57, 58. That's a good 18-point range. On any of these charts, the best that you can hope to do in general, at least for the initial leg of the breakout, is around 50% of the breakout. So you price project that up. So this is 49 to 58, so that's a 9-point range. So I'd set a 67 exit target on that. So 50% of the 15-day range, the high-low range, Jim, and that's what I use. Now, again, you want to adjust your risk tolerance. If you're a newer trader, you don't want to trade something, or at least I wouldn't trade something that goes 40 to 58, because it could go back down against you a handful of points in a heartbeat. So it may make more sense based on your personal trading preference to stick with something like Symantec. In this case, it ran 24 to 27, so it's got 3 points. You might get a point and a half or two out of it before you take profits or tighten in a trailing stop reasonably close to the inside market. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah, good point about TradeStation. And yes, Dan, the patterns that I teach for Breakout Mastery, because I use very advanced patterns, I find that things like a red signal line, and we cover so much more than that. I mean, there's many different patterns. Also, if you happen to be a Forex trader, I can pull up Forex charts for you guys too on demand. But most of what I cover for everybody is stock swing trades mainly, and then also a little bit of day trades as well. If you're looking for up and down charts, you want to stay clear of those. What you want instead, or at least what I like to teach, is how to trade charts with sustainable uptrends and developing a pattern-based trading strategy that makes sense. So for example, here we're using a 50 moving average overlay, and this is, I'll teach you guys another pattern how to use the MA line as well. It's another scanning tool or criteria. And so for that reason, I like using the black background charts, because it really pops these advanced technical patterns that I like to teach. So that's something that I like to help everybody out with as well. A question from Don: how long do you have to sign up for this? Until next Tuesday. And the reason is because the first session is coming up a week from tonight. So you got till the day before, a week from tonight. So, you got all weekend and quite a few days. You don't have to sign up right now or anything, but, give it some thought, sleep on it if you want. But I would encourage you to go ahead and register. Now you got 6 nights left, or 6 days left until registration closes. And then the routine. You'll see my classic graphic that says, congratulations to all the smart traders who joined. If you missed the deadline, don't contact me. Don't call us, we'll call you, to be fair to everybody who has been registering. So, and then when I launch it, say in early February, then I'll have the regular $695, close to $700 retail price. But you can save quite a few dollars, $497. At least save a couple hundred, almost 40% off, something like that, if you register right now. So you have my word on this. I'm a smart guy. I can help you navigate the charts and answer questions, and I'm here to help. So, unlike, say, my other sessions that I do, unlike many of the other training that I do, I take lots of time in this one because we have time. I do these are evening sessions, so instead of the day training I do these evening sessions, I've got time to stick around and answer your questions. And I like to be very helpful and focused. I used to teach college classes and corporate Fortune 500 training for quality management and the rest of it. So I've got a background in corporate training, so I like to make things interactive and hands-on and focused. And again, I'm a real trader with P&L brokerage proof that I actually do trade, so there's that too, authenticity from a real trader, not just some guy talking about charts. I'm the real thing, who's actually a real trader who does trade breakouts. So the main thing is I can teach you all my lessons learned. All the differences between all the screw ups I've made in bad trades versus the trades that have worked out spectacularly, and the differences in timing, pattern recognition, entry and exit skills, trade management skills, and the rest of it. So this is my best agenda for the things, and it's been very popular. I've been offering Breakout Mastery as an annual coaching program at least the last 3 or 4 years, something like that, and I've got lots of comments and testimonials and that kind of thing somewhere in here. Yeah, testimonials. And you can see hundreds of them. I don't know how many hundreds of comments I got, but lots and lots and lots from real traders who sent in. They're kind enough to send in these words, the last couple, 3 years. So anyway, hundreds and hundreds of traders enjoy the course, and I hope that you will too. So, and I really appreciate all the kind words. It means so much to me to see the kind words. It validates what I'm doing. There's nothing better than I like as somebody teaches to see is your success and your positive involvement and your words, all the testimonials and success stories and thank yous and all that kind of stuff is great. The main thing I want to get is, your success. And that's how I know that what I'm teaching is valid and works. And so I appreciate all the kind words from everybody I've helped over the years. So anyway, any other last questions? I know we're running a few minutes over, but that's fine. I'm here to answer your questions too. I see a question from Jim wants to know, Ken, are my swing trading stop loss levels the greater or lesser of 2-day support or $2? Usually it depends on the chart, but usually lesser than the lesser of, the tighter of. So for example, here, well, actually, it would be the same here. If I were to buy 38.80 on this, a 2-day low would be 36.8, and that is 2 points. And so that would be the maximum stop on a swing trade if I were to buy this thing tomorrow on a breakout, right? So that makes sense. But yeah, 2 points or 2-day low is usually a good reason to get out. We don't use major, multi-week support because I don't want you guys taking 6-point stop losses for swing trades, especially. For intraday trades too, you want to keep things tight within maximum of 40 cents, but usually a dime to 20 cents. So, we like to focus on these good charts. It would be good for swing trading at new highs as well as intraday trades, and the difference between how to do that for yourself. So anyway, y'all have been amazing. I wanted to say thanks so much to all of you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I hope that my ADX training has made it worth your while to be with me tonight. I gave you some good tips on how to, at least starting tips on how to use the average directional index the right way with that 40 filter criteria to keep you in on good trades and out of false breakouts. And I gave you a couple of really good examples, right? Just to recap. Say interactive gaming was one of the false breakout charts. Or HBI, say a trader not armed with ADX the right way might have been tempted to take a breakout up here because it's above previous highs. Hey, it's running up, let me go long. Oh no, and it goes down. Like that Saturday Night Live show, oh no, Mr. Bill. If anybody remembers that from back in the good old days with the classic Saturday Night Live was around, the Mr. Bill show. Well, anyway, as a trader, you don't want to be Mr. Bill, you want to be Mr. Moneybags. You want to be the guy that actually makes money. So, avoiding false breakouts and keeping y'all out of harm's way is a big piece of that. Because that would have gotten in a lot of, unsuspecting newbie, inexperienced amateur breakout traders because it's just taking out new highs. But we know better because the divergence with ADX under 40. Similarly, we know to capitalize on good charts like this that take out an ADX over 40 and we scale in on the way up, and it makes a really good breakout continuation play. So that's the type of thought process that you'll get with me in Breakout Mastery as a member. I hope that I've encouraged you, inspired you, given you a few actionable tips that you can actually start using, whether or not you join, but I certainly hope to see you there. And I'll, be a teammate with you and help you out with any questions you may have. Just save questions for the webinars, or, like all year long last year, I had another trader from the Middle East who couldn't make it live, so he sent in his questions ahead of the webinar, and I answered them every single time and recorded my answer in the video. So that way, even if you can't make it live, that's another good benefit. You can send in, up to a couple of questions via email before each webinar, and I can answer them for you. And so that way, you'll get the answer when you download the video at your convenience in the weeks following the webinar. So that's another way to learn. I like to kind of bend over backwards to over deliver for you guys and give you good professional, honest, intelligent, step-by-step, pattern recognition-based training that helps filter out the better of the charts from everything else out there and simplify your approach to trading. We don't use a army or bucket load of what my colleague Tony would call chart spaghetti. We don't want a bunch of derivative technical, MACD, RSI, stochastic, price action, CCI channel stuff. We don't do that. I'm a price action trader. That's what I do. I trade price action breakouts. So I will teach you how to use candlestick breakouts and Western technical breakouts with a lot of advanced topics that are not taught anywhere else in the industry. And what I like to do is combine one or two really strong, kind of a bootstrap, or one or two really strong entry patterns and give you the trade setup so you know exactly what to look for week after week. And you get to work with me all year long with Breakout Mastery. And it's only $4.97. It should be at $12.95 or $14.95 or some ridiculous big price, but I'm making it really trader friendly, and I make it up on volume. I got so many of you here. If I get 100 of you registered, it makes it worth my time. We got what? We're still at, how many of you? 279 in tonight's registered for tonight's event. So almost 300 of you registered, and that's good. So I make it up on volume because as my company continues to grow, I like to make sure that everything stays affordable and a good price and great value and professional training from me, a money show expert and author in stocks and commodities and all that kind of stuff, who's a real trader that proves I really trade. So anyway, join my community. I'd like to see you as part of our annual membership for Breakout Mastery 2017. And this is the final preview webinar I will be doing until this time next year. So as you know, if you follow me for any length of time, I only do the Breakout Mastery previews in January each year. And it's been growing year after year. And we've had so many new traders on board. It's great to see new faces. I like to be refreshingly honest and accurate and intelligent and much more strategic, as well as tactical and step-by-step for you guys, and much more professional presentation skills. You don't hear me him and ha. I'm a professional talker as well as trainer as well as trader. So you get the best of all worlds with the very finest charts with me as a member in Breakout Mastery. That's kind of cool. You can click that little arrow at the bottom and it scrolls all the way up. Anyway, strongest breakouts is what I'm all about, with really tight stops. That's the key to trading success, I'm convinced. Really strong charts, really tight stops. Everything else is kind of hit and miss. And I don't know about y'all, but I like to make money. I don't like to give money to the market for nothing. I like to make money. So to extract value out of the market, you got to trade the strongest breakouts with a very good risk management, tight stop strategy. And I'll teach you the visual scanning pattern, price action, entry strategies you can start using immediately once you join me at Breakout Mastery. So thanks to all who are registering as we speak, and I appreciate it. Right, Mukesh, I agree with you. Saying price and quality sells and keep customers satisfied. Yeah. And thanks, Virginia, saying the ADX teaching is great. Yeah, it's a really good kind of toolkit in your bag of tricks that you want to have as a trader. Is something that I use it kind of like the trends. Not to diverge here a little bit, but I will. I'm a huge fan of using the ARMS indices, also known as the trends, to keep me out of choppy markets. So if the trend is, if it's low, if it's under 1, that's a long bias market. If the trend is over 1, it's a short bias market. And if they're divergent, like it's showing right now, I mean, it's after market, so it's not really valid. But if I saw this in market, I'd be slight long bias the NASDAQ and stay away from New York Stock Exchange stocks because of the signals there. Anyway, knowing how to deploy that into a trading plan instantly and having the confidence to pull the trigger on the trades that actually make sense, that actually have good trade potential, is really what I want to build your strength at. If I was your personal fitness coach or personal fitness trainer at the gym, I'd be the guy, not like a drill sergeant, though I really like the movie Full Metal Jacket. What is your major malfunction? I'm not that guy. Bada boom. Actually, let's do a rim shot. bada boom. I'm not going to say that. I like to be a friendly, supportive coach, so there's no bad questions. Bring a couple of, at least a question, 2 or 3 to each of our Wednesday events, and I'll be happy to give you a good, honest, step-by-step, thoughtful, polite, intelligent, professional answer, and give you the best of my experience in doing thousands of trades. The difference between, the entry patterns that are most likely to continue up versus everything else. Anybody can buy a new high. The trick is buying a new high that attracts new people after you get in so you can sell to them, right? Remember, it's a transactional business. We don't trade to buy new highs. I mean, anybody can buy something that looks like, hey, it's going up. The trick is not getting stopped out on the way back down. And I teach you the difference with the very strongest charts. So you want to get in on something that's starting to go up and actually has a shot, once it breaks resistance, to keep running up nicely and continuously without lost sleep or anxiety and the rest of it. So anyway, I hope that I've proven my case, and I hope that I will see y'all in Breakout Mastery. And even if I don't, I just want to wish y'all the very best for an outstanding year ahead. It's been such an honor being of service to so many thousands of traders the last 17 plus years. I really appreciate your enthusiastic support and working with me together. It's been quite the journey, quite the run, and quite a success story. So it's thanks to all of you that I'm here. I'm here at your service, and so I wanted to thank you for being here. Anyway, take care. I will get tonight's event uploaded to my YouTube channel momentarily, so it'll be there to rewatch later tonight, hopefully, if all goes well. And I will see you in our Breakout Mastery sessions. Remember, the next one is coming up a week from tonight, so continue on with me by joining as a member. Do give me, please, 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours to get your login and password to you. It doesn't handle it automatically. I have to manually set up your individual login and password. It's usually your first name and your last initial, then some random Unix password, and so I have to manually generate those for you once you order. So I will do that for you, and I will hope to see you in this year's Breakout Mastery sessions. So with that, I wanted to say thanks for being here, and I guess the wrap-up slides are, like I mentioned last week, you got a choice. You can either go to loan, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. I always try and learn myself initially, but then you hit a roadblock or you hit a plateau. And if you want to potentially break through any plateaus in skill sets and understanding how to trade breakouts professionally, that's where I come in, and I can really help you with that. So I hope that you'll join me and work together with me as a teammate in our Breakout Mastery sessions coming up all this year. I'm Ken Calhoun, your host. Remember, we're going to wrap this up right now. The order deadline is Tuesday, and the reason is because our first regular session is Wednesday. So you get almost a week to order, so you got plenty of time. And you get a full year of monthly webinars held once each month at the end of the month on the last Wednesday from 8 to 9 Eastern, plus you get the downloadable videos as well. So anyway, with that, I think that's it. Breakoutmastery.com. Hope to see you guys there, and any other questions? Thanks, Mira. Appreciate it. Yeah. Happy birthday to everybody who has a birthday coming up soon, too. And wanted to wish you all the best. So take care, trade smart, look for the outlier charts, combine that with very tight stops. Look at your trading as a sequence or a pattern of entries and exits, not a hit or miss, all or nothing. That took me a lot of years to figure out, too. And I teach you how to do that in Breakout Mastery. Just a quick bonus tip for all of you who are still hanging in here with me. It's still a big turnout. So thanks for your attention. It is turning into an almost hour webinar, but lots of smart questions. And as I illustrate, I stick around and answer all the questions to help out. So anyway, y'all have been great. Hope to see you in Breakout Mastery. Until next time, trade with passion, trade with really tight stops, trade to make lots of money, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Best wishes for success in 2017.